Hello, this is John the Computer Don coming to you live from Interop 2015. I'm here with two representatives from Extreme Networks. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Sure, John. I'm Derek Granith. I'm the Senior Director of Product Management for Extreme Networks based at our headquarters in San Jose, California.
And I'm Vikram Bendarkar. I'm Product Management for SDN. I'm based out of RDU, North Carolina.
Okay, excellent. And I brought them in today to really give a generalized overview of what software-defined is. I know that a lot of the viewers out there are still wondering, what is this and what does it mean for us? So I'm going to go ahead and turn the conversation over to you.
Sure, thank you. Let me start and then I'll hand it off to you, Vikram. So software-defined networking has been around for a few years, and the whole notion is to disaggregate the control plane from the data forwarding plane of the network in much the same way that physical servers have now been virtualized to create multiple virtual machines within a physical server. So again, the notion is that I have a data forwarding plane that's relatively unintelligent. However, it has to have certain characteristics, certain amounts of memory and CPU processing power for various tables. I have a control plane where the intelligence between that data forwarding plane and the higher layers of applications sit, and then up above the control plane there's network services and also applications. So it's again disaggregating that physical network to provide more flexibility and agility to IT.
Yep, and if I were to give a slightly different analogy here, John, to kind of like make sense to a lot of us who are not used to this iPhone era, I would say, there is this app, you might have heard about it, known as If This Then That.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that allow you to do today? It's for example, if you received an email, you could use If This Then That to say, I want to save that PowerPoint attachment to my Google Drive. Right? Or if I am close to my home, I want the garage door to be opened up. So what that means is you're able to now take different kinds of actions based on certain conditions and come up with something which is vastly simplifying a lot of actions that were very manual or slow in the past. So what does this have to do with SDN?
Right.
Well, SDN allows you to codify your IT knowledge.
Okay.
So that's what it is. So you could say that if a particular user logs on to the network, I will allow him a certain amount of bandwidth, and I will make sure that he can access the internet, but he can only access these certain applications. Or if I decided that I have a data backup going on right now, I want to make sure that if there is an emergency conference call being set up, that thing gets priority over the data backup.
Okay.
So SDN allows you to provide these paradigms, which is a high-level application orchestration, at the same time allowing a low-level data plane optimization as well.
Excellent, excellent. And I understand that you guys made some big announcements this week.
We did. So last summer, we announced our software-defined architecture. We announced our membership in Open Daylight, and we announced our Open Daylight Open Standards-Based Controller, the One Controller. Our announcement this week, a couple of days ago here at Interop, was a little bit different. It wasn't a typical product announcement. Rather, it was two different solutions and a couple of industry firsts. And what's interesting about these two solutions are they were for enterprise customers, and they're in production in enterprise customers, and I'll describe them for you.
Okay.
And really one of the messages is that SDN really is ready for prime time in the enterprise. We're still in the very early adopter phase, there's no question about that. But if a year ago you asked me if SDN would be in the enterprise in April of 2015, we're almost into May, I would have said probably not. But what we're seeing is an acceleration of SDN. It's no longer just for the Googles and the Rackspaces and the big cloud providers. There are real world enterprise-oriented applications where SDN can deliver tangible benefits. And the couple of examples that I'll provide that we announced are really easy to understand. They're pretty simple applications, and the benefits are also very tangible and very easy to understand. So the first one is the town of Enfield in Connecticut, a small little town. It's got two IT guys, and they're actually here in our booth. If you have a chance to talk to them, it would be very helpful for the audience. Maybe we can get them on this camera someday. Two IT guys. They manage IT for public safety, fire and police, the municipal administrative services, and schools. And the particular application that we worked on with them was a school application, and it's a mobile iPad lab. So imagine a cart of 30 iPads. that gets moved from classroom to classroom because I can't afford iPads for every student. And a teacher needs to have quality of service. So when they first rolled this out, what would happen is 30 students would log into the internet, start downloading education videos, and the whole system would fall to its knees.
Right.
In fact, it could even impact their voice over IP services, which represents a threat to safety
Yeah.
and security in the school. So what this application does is it uses SDN to provide quality of service on demand. So we worked with them, we collaborated with this pair of IT guys to create a web portal that teachers can schedule this iPad lab. They provide location information and a time slot when they want to use it. And then we provision through SDN and the network the correct levels of quality of service, the correct levels of bandwidth, even potentially rerouting traffic towards higher bandwidth pipes or less busy pipes.
Okay.
And we do that in a completely automated fashion. And again, before, if they wanted to provide that quality of service, an IT person would have to go in and program switches, program ACLs. Now it's done through SDN. And when that session is over, it's torn down and those resources in the network become available somewhere else.
Excellent.
Anything you want to add on?
Yeah, I mean,
that
I
solution?
would just re-emphasize the two reasons why we are seeing this change right now. The conversation has changed from if to how, and the big two things that are happening is our ability to be able to show how you can deploy SDN opportunistically, and then be able to show a proven measurable benefit which you can take as reports, go back to your CIO or CFO and say, hey, here's the value of SDN.
Right.
And that is the reason why adoption is taking place. And both of the solutions that we talked about today here are where we are able to convey this message back that really helps a network admin to be able to take this forward and make it real.
So the benefits in this case were several-fold. One, and the most important one, is an improved learning experience for the students because they were getting the right quality of service for those video educational labs and so forth. The second was it unburdens the IT staff. They don't have to be involved. It's completely self-service. Another benefit is that they don't have to just simply use the highest bandwidth pipes going between sites or to their internet service. They can actually choose and optimize the right pipes, the right amounts of bandwidth at the right time. So there's a cost savings as well, and the CIO made that very explicit to
And
us.
that's pretty significant. What just Derek mentioned, many a times we get this question, so what is SDN doing that is different from what we can do today?
Right.
And what it really is doing is able to do things respond to things in a dynamic way with a very fine-grained control. So the example of being able to reroute traffic, being able to distinguish between time-sensitive traffic and a non-time sensitive traffic, that's huge.
Right.
That kind of controls you never had in the past.
Absolutely.
So there's another enterprise application that I think a lot of your viewers would relate to. It's Microsoft Lync, are now being rebranded to Skype for Business.
Yep.
And when we started using this about a year and a half ago at Extreme Networks, the experience was not very good. Voice calls would be warbled. Desktop sharing might or might not work. If you ever did a large video conference kind of a call, it often wouldn't work. And
Right.
the reason is the way Skype for Business or Lync works is it grabs a bunch of layer 4 IP or TCP or UDP addresses from a big bank of addresses once it knows what kind of a session to be set up, and it just grabs those and it tries to send the traffic without any real traffic engineering at all. And so what our application does is it integrates tightly with the front-end server for Lync or Skype for Business. The front-end server determines what flows or what sessions need to be set up between the endpoints or users depending on the type of call, whether it's just voice only or voice and video and slide sharing or whatever. And then it provides that information to our one controller, SDN controller. Our SDN controller then programs the network, very similar manner to the town of Enfield example that I provided, to give the correct levels of quality of service, choose the best routes through the network to improve that user experience. And the benefit to that, of course, is you have a good experience using Skype for Business. Second is it can save companies money. So when we first started using Skype for Business at Extreme, Lync at that time, if the call wasn't very good, we'd log off and we'd pick up our landline or we'd pick up our cell phone or whatever, which may or may not have costs associated with it. And and so we weren't getting the benefit, and we weren't able to adopt Link as fast as we would have liked. So this type of quality of service on demand, again, really can deliver tangible benefits to enterprises. One statistic that I heard recently is that 60% of all enterprises, 500 employees and above, are either deploying or thinking about deploying some form of unified communications like Skype for Business, and having that good experience is imperative.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's about all the time we have for today. It's been a great pleasure talking with you both, and I thank you for your interview.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, John.
We'll see you at the next one.